ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. We began last night reading from the description of paradise, from the Nunya Al-Kafiyah to Shafiyah, the poem of Imām Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, فصل فيما أعد الله تعالى في الجنة لأوليائه المتمسكين بالكتاب والسنة. A lesson pertaining what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared in the paradise for His allies that are holding fast to the book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we read this last night. We want to reread it because the recording was lost. We want the benefit to remain beyond this sitting. He says, يا خاطب الحور الحسان وطالبا لوصالهن بجنة الحيوان. O you, O believer, who is proposing himself in marriage, in union to al-hur al-hisan, to the fair, beautiful maidens of paradise that are beautiful in appearance and beautiful in character. وَطَالِبًا, O you who is pursuing لِوِصَالِهِنَّ, to be joined with them, بِجَنَّةِ الْحَيَوَانِ, in the garden of everlasting life. Alhamdulillah. لو كنت تدري من خطبت ومن طلبت بذلت ما تحوي من الأثمان. If you really realized you had proposed to and what you were seeking, then you would sacrifice whatever you possess to pay the price for the paradise. أو كنت تدري أين مسكنها جعلت السعي منك لها على الأجفان. Or if you realized or knew where her home was and how to reach it, then you would make the race towards her home the focus of your eyes. وَلَقَدْ وَصَفْتُ طَرِيقَ مَسْكَنِهَا فَإِنْ رُمْتَ الْوِصَالَ فَلَا تَكُنْ بِالْوَانِ. And I have herein in this poem described to you, meaning in explaining the Aqeedah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, I have explained to you the path that will lead you to the homes of the women of the paradise, to your wives and your spouses that are waiting for you. فَإِنْ رُمْتَ الْوِصَالِ, so if you want to attempt to reach them, فَلَا تَكُنْ بِالْوَانِ, and in one wording, بِالْمُتَوَانِ. If you want to reach them, do not be lazy or complacent. أَسْرِعْ وَحُثَ السَّيْرَ جَهْدَكَ إِنَّمَا مَسْرَاكَ هَذَا سَاعَةٌ لِزَمَانِ. Race quickly and move diligently in your journey. جَهْدَكَ, to the best of your ability. Give your best effort. إِنَّمَا مَسْرَاكَ هَذَا, for indeed this journey of yours, سَاعَةٌ لِزَمَانِ, is really like nothing but an hour in comparison to the time remaining in eternity. فَعْشَقْ وَحَدِّثْ بِالْوِصَالِ النَّفْسِ وَابْذُلْ مَهْرَهَا مَا دُمْتَ ذَا إِمْكَانِ. فَعْشَقْ, so have ishq, have a anxious longing, desire and passion for the spouses and the women of the paradise. وَحَدِّثْ بِالْوِصَالِ النَّفْسِ, and have a discussion with yourself about the urgency of being joined with the woman of paradise. وَابْذُلْ مَهْرَهَا, and work for her mahr, work for her sadaq, her bridal gift. مَا دُمْتَ ذَا إِمْكَانِ, so long as you have ability within you. وَاجْعَلْ صِيَامَكَ قَبْلَ لُقْيَاهَا وَيَوْمَ الْوَصْلِ يَوْمَ الْفِطْرِ مِنْ رَمَضَانِ. Make every day before you meet and reach your family and your home and your spouse in the paradise a day that you fast, meaning a day that you withhold from what is forbidden by Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And do not break that fast until you reach your destination, just like you do not break a day of fasting in Ramadan. وَاجْعَلْ نُعُوتَ جَمَالِهَا الْحَادِ وَسِرْ تَلْقَى الْمَخَاوِفَ وَهِيَ ذَاتُ أَمَانِ. Make the descriptions of her beauty, that thing that drives you, وَسِرْ, and journey towards her. تَلْقَى الْمَخَاوِفَ. You are going to encounter all sorts of terrors and fearful things along the way. وَهِيَ ذَاتُ أَمَانِ. And she is the destination where you will find safety. لا يلحينك منزل لعبت به أيد البلا مذ سالف الأزمان. Do not be distracted by an abode, a world, meaning this world. لعبت به أيد البلا, that has been tampered with by the hands of decrepitude, and that is going out of existence and is fading away. مذ سالف الأزمان, and has been tampered with since the beginning of time. فَلَقَ تَرَحَلْ عَنْهُ كُلُّ مَسَرَّةٍ وَتَبَدَّلَتْ بِالْحَمِّ وَالْأَحْزَانِ. Everything of joy and happiness is departing from this world. The longer a person lives, the more his pleasures are departing him, the more his energy and his health and his loved ones are leaving one thing after another after another. وَتَبَدَّلَتْ بِالْحَمِّ وَالْأَحْزَانِ, only to be exchanged in its place with ham and hazan, with sadness and anxiety that a person is going to lose what they have or has lost what they have. سجن يضيق بصاحب الإيمان لكن جنة المأوى لذا الكفران. He says this world, it is a prison that is constricted and tight for the person of Iman. Lakin, however, on the other hand, it is a Jannatul Ma'awa. It is believed to be an everlasting paradise by the people of disbelief. سكانها أهل الجهالة والبطالة والسفاهة أنجس السكان. The dwellers of this world are the people of ignorance, and the people of batala, the people of purposelessness and laziness, and safaha, and the people of foolishness. Anjasu sukani, those that are attached to this world, they are the filthiest of residents. ألذهم عيشا فأجهلهم لحق الله ثم حقائق القرآن. وألذهم عيشا, and the one who feels as though he enjoys this life the most from the people of disbelief, then he is certainly that person who is most ignorant about the right of Allah, ثُمَّ حَقَائِقَ الْقُرْآنِ, and is most ignorant of the facts and realities and teachings of the Qur'an. عَمَرَتْ بِهِمْ هَذِهِ الدِّيَارُ وَأَقْفَرَتْ مِنْهُمْ رُبُوعُ الْعِلْمِ وَالْإِيمَانِ. They find themselves preoccupied with this world, whereas rubu' al-ilmi wal-iman, their hearts are empty of the vestiges and the realities of knowledge and faith. قَدْ آثَرُوا الدُّنْيَا وَلَذَّةَ عَيْشِهَا الْفَانِ عَلَى الْجَنَّاتِ وَالرِّضْوَانِ. They have preferred this world and the bliss of living in this world that is temporary over the jannat, over the gardens of paradise, and ar-ridwan, and the good pleasure of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. صَاحِبُ الْآمَانِ وَبُطُولُ بِحُظُوظِهِمْ. So they have connected themselves to their false hopes. وَبُطُولُ بِحُظُوظِهِمْ, and they have been put to trial and test because of their selfish pursuits. وَرَضُوا بِكُلِّ مَذَلَّةٍ وَهَوَانِ, and they are contented and pleased with everything that leads to humiliation and degradation. كَدْحًا وَكَدًّا لَيُفَتَّرُ عَنْهُمُ. They find themselves constantly toiling and striving hard, and this state never leaves them, working hard for this dunya. مَا فِيهِ مِنْ غَمٍ وَمِنْ أَحْزَانٍ. And that which they find of worry and that which they find of sadness never departs from them so long as they are obsessed with this world. As a messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, "Man ja'ala al-akhirata hammahu," whoever makes the hereafter his ambition, jama'a Allahu shamnahu, then Allah will organize his affairs for him. Wa ja'ala ghinahu fi qalbihi, and he will place contentment in the heart of that person. Wa atathu dunya wa hiya raghima, and the dunya will come to him and will be forced to do so. Wa man ja'ala ad-dunya hammahu, and whoever makes this world what they are worried and concerned about as their primary ambition and objective, farraqa Allahu alayhi shamla, and Allah will scatter and disorganize his affairs and make his life chaotic. Wa wada'a al-faqra bayna 'aynayhi, and Allah will place poverty between his eyes, so that no matter what he has, he will always feel as though he is poor. وَلَمْ يَأْتِيهِ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَا كُتِبَ لَهُ, and nothing will come to him from the world except for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written in the qadr for him. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he says this is the reality of the sahib al-dunya, the person who is greedily attached and stingy attached to the dunya. كَدْحًا وَكَدًّا لَا يُفَتَّرُ عَنْهُمُ مَا فِيهِ مِنْ غَمٍ وَمِنْ أَحْزَانٍ. He is constantly toiling and working hard, and what is a result of that, of gham and ahzan, and of stress and sadness, never leaves from the person. وَاللَّهِ لَوْ شَاهَدْتَ هَاتِيكَ الصُّدُورِ رَأَيْتَ كَمَرَاجِلِ النِّيرَانِ. He said, Wallahi, if you could look into the hearts of these people who are not preparing for the hereafter and who are obsessed with this world, then you will see that their hearts are like blazing fires. وَوُقُودُهَا الشَّهَوَاتُ وَالْحَسَرَاتُ وَالْآلَامُ لَا تَخْبُو مَدَى الْأَزْمَانِ. And they are fueled, these fires in their heart are fueled by their harmful impulses and lust, and by their remorse and their shame and the pain that they feel. لَا تَخْبُو مَدَى الْأَزْمَانِ. And it is something that never goes away as long as time remains. أَبْدَانُهُمْ أَجْدَاثُ حَاتِيكَ النُّفُوسِ اللَّائِ قَدْ قُبِرَتْ مَعَ الْأَبْدَانِ. He said their bodies are the ajdath, their bodies are the crypts that carry their inner selves, the souls that have been buried inside of these bodies. Their souls have died, and their bodies are like the graves, the crypts that carry the souls. أَرْوَاحُهُمْ فِي وَحْشَةٍ وَجُسُومُهُمْ فِي كَدْحِهَا لَا فِي رَدَى الرَّحْمَانِ. And their souls feel wahsha, feel a state of desolation and despair, and their jusum and their bodies فِي كَدْحِهَا are constantly working hard to bring about satisfaction for themselves, لا في رضا الرحمن, not in striving for the good pleasure of Ar-Rahman تبارك وتعالى. هربوا من الرق الذي خلقوا له فبلوا برق النفس والشيطان. They have run away and fled from the servitude, the worship of Allah that they were created for, and they were tested as a result of that by becoming slaves to their own selves and slaves to the shaitan. لا ترضى ما اختاروه هم لنفوسهم فقد ارتضوا بالذل والحرمان. So do not be contented with what they have preferred and chosen for themselves, because they are contented with humiliation and being deprived of Allah's reward. لو ساوت الدنيا جناح بعوضة لم يسقي منها الرب ذا الكفران. If this world was equivalent to the wing of a mosquito, with Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, then Ar-Rabb, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, will not allow a disbeliever to drink a mouthful of water from it. لكنها والله أحقر عنده من ذا الجناح القاصر الطيراني. However, this world is less significant and more worthless in the estimation of Allah than the wing of a single small mosquito that is flying through the air. وَلَقَدْ تَوَلَّتْ بَعْدُ عَنْ أَصْحَابِهَا فَالسَّعْدُ مِنْهَا حَلَّ فِي الدَّبَرَانِ. By Allah, this world has turned away from those that are pursuing it. And so happiness is found in turning away from the world. لَا يُرْتَجَ مِنْهَا الْوَفَاءُ لِصَبِّهَا أَيْنَ الْوَفَاءُ مِنْ غَادِرٍ خَوَّانٍ. It is not expected that this world is going to show loyalty to the person who was obsessed and infatuated with it. Where can you expect to find loyalty from someone who is treacherous and someone who is known to betray? Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he says something similar in his book that is called Al-Fawaid rahimahullah ta'ala, where he says, الدنيا كامرأة بغي لا تثبت مع زوج إنها تخطب الأزواج ليستحسن عليها فلا ترضى بالدياثة. That the world is like امرأة بغي, like an unchaste woman, like a prostitute. She doesn't stick with a single spouse, a single mate, but rather she proposes herself to multiple partners. لِيَسْتَحْسِنُ عَلَيْهَا, so they all are amazed with her beauty. فَلَا تَرْضَ بِالدِّيَاثَ, so do not be pleased with a diyatha, with being like a pimp. Being a person, diyatha is where a person has no jealousy for his womanfolk. Do not be pleased with this condition. He says, rahimahullah ta'ala, طُبِعَتْ عَلَى كَدْرٍ فَكَيْفَ تَنَالُهَا صَفْوًا أَهَذَا قَطُّ فِي الْإِمْكَانِ. He said that this world is naturally made to be upsetting and unsettling. So how can a person expect to find clarity of mind or true contentment in this world? أَهَذَا قَطُّ فِي الْإِمْكَانِ. And pursuing this world, is this something that is even possible? يَا عَاشِقَ الدُّنْيَا تَأَهَّبْ لِلَّذِي قَدْ نَالَهُ الْعُشَّاقُ كُلَّ زَمَانِ. O you who are obsessed and infatuated with the dunya, تَأَهَّبْ لِلَّذِي, prepare yourself for that which قَدْ نَالَهُ الْعُشَّاقُ كُلَّ زَمَانِ, has been realized and met as a fate by the ushaq, by those who are obsessed with this world in every time. أَوَمَا سَمِعْتَ بَرَّأَيْتَ مَصَارِيَ الْعُشَّاقِ مِنْ شِيبٍ وَمِنْ شُبَّانٍ. Haven't you heard, and much rather haven't you seen, the evil ends of those who are obsessed with this world? مِنْ شِيبٍ وَمِنْ شُبَّانٍ, from the old and from the young. The great scholar, Abu al-Ma'ali Mahmud Shukri al-Alusi, rahimahullah ta'ala, the great scholar, the great Salafi scholar of Iraq, of Baghdad, who died in the 1950s, he says, أقول قد أشار الناظم في هذه الأبيات إلا ما أعد الله تعالى لعباده المؤمنين. That the author Ibn Qayyim, rahimahullah ta'ala, in these lines of poetry that we have just heard, he has alluded to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared for his believing servants, and mutamassikina bil kitabi was sunnah, that are holding fast to the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, mimma la aynun ra'at wa la udhunun sami'at. And these lines are what comes after of the description of paradise. He describes what is found in the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that is as such that no human eye has ever seen anything as beautiful as, no human ear has ever heard anything equivalent to, وَلَا خَطَرَ عَلَى قَلْبِ بَشَرٍ, and no human heart has ever imagined anything as wonderful as. وَذَلِكَ مِنْ قَوْلِهِ لَكُنْتَ تَدْرِي إِلَى قَوْلِهِ لَا يُلْحِيَنَّكَ مَنْزِلٍ وَمِنْ هَا هُنَا شَرَعَ يَضُمُّ الدُّنْيَا وَيَحُضُّ عَلَى تَرْكِهَا وَالْإِعْرَاضِ عَنْهَا. He says, and that is found in the beginning of the poetry, when he said, describing the woman of the paradise and the bliss that is found with those women, that if you realized how it was up until the statement, do not be distracted by this world. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. ومن هنا شرع يضم الدنيا ويحض على تركها والإعراض عنها. And then after mentioning how a person should long to reach the woman of the paradise, and for the sisters, how the sisters themselves, if they reach the paradise, how they will be better than the woman of the paradise. They will be served hand and foot by servants, and they will be the delight of the eyes of their husbands. And every time they turn away from their spouse, or their spouse turns away from them, they will say, Wallahi azdatta fi ayni, mazdatta fi ayni illa hubban. Wallahi, in my eyes you have only increased in love and in my affection for you. And so, the person, he must long, or she must long, to be from the people of paradise, and to be reunited with the people of the paradise, the souls of the believers, that they left behind in this world, or that have preceded them to the hereafter. He says, "La yuhiyannaka manzil," do not be distracted by a world, meaning this world. And at this point, he begins with his dispraise of the world. وَيَحُضُّ عَلَى تَرْكِهَا. And he encourages people to leave off what is unimportant from the things of this world, and to be disinterested in it. وَيَحُثُّ عَلَى طَلَبِ الْآخِرَةِ. And he encourages the Muslims to pursue and seek after the hereafter. وَأَهْلُ الدُّنْيَا وَالرَّاغِبُونَ فِيهَا هُمْ أَجْحَلُ النَّاسِ بِالْحَقَائِقِ. And he mentions that the people of this world, the people who are obsessed with this world, and those that have a strong desire to stay in this world, هُمْ أَجْحَلُ النَّاسِ بِالْحَقَائِقِ. They are the most ignorant of people pertaining the reality of affairs. وَمَا أَحْسَنَ قَوْلُ النَّاظِمِ حَيْثُ يَقُولُ. And how beautiful is the statement of the author Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, when he said, as we heard, صَحِبُ الْآمَانِ وَبُطُلُوا بِحُظُوظِهِمْ وَرَضَوْا بِكُلِّ مَذَلَّةٍ وَحَوَانٍ. That they have attached themselves to their false hopes and their false aspirations and dreams. وَبُطُلُوا بِحُظُوظِهِمْ. And they have been put to test and trial by their selfish pursuits. وَرَضَوْا بِكُلِّ مَذَلَّةٍ وَحَوَانٍ. And they are contented with everything that will bring about humiliation, and everything that will bring about degradation for them. وَقَدْ أَخَذَهُ مِنْ قَوْلِ مَنْ قَالَ رَضَوْا بِالْآمَانِ. And he took that from some well-known lines of poetry. As for his statement, طُبِعَتْ عَلَى كَدْرٍ, that this world has naturally been made to be a source of upsetment, then this is likewise something that is well known in famous lines of Arabic poetry. وَفِي ذَمِّ الدُّنْيَا وَالْحَثِّ عَلَى الْآخِرَةِ كَلَامٌ كَثِيرٌ في شعر السلف ونثرهم في شعر السلف ونثرهم. And as for the dispraise of this world and the encouragement to pursue the hereafter, then there is an abundance of speech from the Salaf in poetry form and in written form in their statements. وَقَدْ ذَكَرَ طَرْفًا مِنْهُ فِي التَّبْصِرَةِ Ibn al-Jawzi rahimahullah ta'ala وَفِي حِلْيَةِ الْأَوْلِيَاءِ. He says, and much of this has been collected by Ibn al-Jawzi in the book At-Tabsira, and likewise in the book Hilyat al-Awliya by Abu Nu'aym al-Asbahani rahimahullah ta'ala. And many of the Salaf, they wrote books about az-Zuhd. books about being disinterested in this world, like Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak and al-Hannad ibn Surri and others from the Salaf al-Salihin رضي الله عنهم ورحمهم أجمعين. فإن أحببت الوقوف على كنوز معانيها فارجع إلى التفاسير المفصلة. والناظم رحمه الله تعالى لما فرغ من بيان العقائد الحقة والرد على المبطلين. And so if you want to find some treasures of meanings pertaining the dispraise of the dunya, then look at what is found in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all throughout the Quran, of Allah exposing the reality of this world, and look at what is stated by the Imams of the Salaf and the books of tafsir that you have available to you. وَالنَّاظِمُ رَحِمُهُ اللَّهِ. And so the author of this poetry, rahimahullah, ibn Qayyim, لَمَّا فَرَغَ مِنْ بَيَانٍ عَقَائِدَ الْحَقَّةِ, after he finished explaining in over 4,000 lines of poetry the correct creed and belief of the Muslim, وَالرَّدْ عَلَى الْمُبْطِلِينَ, and his refutation of the various groups of deviation and falsehood, ذكر الجزاء المحسنين وتوصل بذلك إلى الكلام على الجنان والحور والخلمان. After that, he mentions the reward of the people of ihsan, of those who worship Allah well, and that led him to this speech that we are hearing now, a description of the paradise that Allah has prepared for the people of the Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the description of the woman of the paradise, and of the ghilman, of the youth in the paradise. وهو انتقال حسن كحسن تخلص في الشعر ثم أنه أخذ يذكر وصف الجنة وَمَا أَعَدَّ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى فِيهَا. And so he continues after this, mentioning the description of the paradise. And this is where we'll continue tomorrow, inshaAllah ta'ala. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه